Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. For those of you who are Oscar fans, the show is about to come up, and I am here with one of the nominees, actually for her 12th time, nominated this year for Best Original Song for EOC, also called Scene, co-written with Laura Pausini, Diane Warren. Thank you, Diane, for being here. Congratulations. I mentioned that this was your 12th nomination. But let's take you back to your first one, back to 1988, when Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now from Mannequin was nominated. What was your mindset at that point to receive that first recognition?
I mean, I remember it being very unexpected, you know. And let me tell you this, that was 33 years ago. I mean, I've been nominated in 5 decades, which is weird since I was only like 2 years old when I had my first nomination. Yeah, sure. But it's just as exciting now, you know, whether it's, you know, Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now or all those a lot of other songs in between to EOC, to Scene, which was written as Scene, you know, which I wrote. And then Laura actually did the translation, did the Italian lyrics. But I think I'm digressing because I haven't had enough coffee, so cheers. But you know, it's always exciting, and I stay up all night. I know some people go like, well, you know, my agent woke me up. Well, I don't have an agent to wake me up, so I just stay up all night.
But let's talk about the Scene this year that it's nominated. This was something that you had to fight for to get into the movie, The Life Ahead, because even though you had submitted a song, from what I understand, the director came to you and went, "It's not going to work." Well, what is your mindset?
Well, the thing, I didn't have to fight. It was what it was is, and Eduardo Ponti, the director, loved the song, loved. And so, but the movie's in Italian. So when they put up against the movie, it was like, wait, it's not working. Why isn't it working? Because it's not in Italian. Because you can't just throw a song in English at the end of an Italian movie. Just like you can't have an English movie, an American movie. I mean, it just won't work. So we were just trying to think what's gonna make this work. And I had the idea of reaching out to Laura Pausini, who I'd met before, and who's, you know, she's the best singer in Italy. If you have Sophia Loren, you have, you know, the greatest actress. We had to go big. And so I reached out to Laura, and it wasn't about fighting to get it in the movie. It was more like making it work. And that's what made it work.
Talk a little bit about, I mean, you kind of have a little fun with the idea that this is your 12th nomination. Sadly, you haven't won before. And you had a great post where basically it was almost like you were seeking a short, bald man with a little gold fuse for a relationship. Is it still just an honor to be nominated? Or, I mean, I think you still want to win.
Okay, I'm going to be like really honest. Of course I want to win. You know, I've been nominated 11 times. And it's my dad's birthday, April 25th. My dad was the first person to ever believe in me, got me a subscription to Billboard when I was 14, bought me my first guitar, you know, took me to publishers, you know, when I was like 15 years old and stuff. And my dad saw, you know, the beginnings of my success. And this happens to be on his birthday. So there's something about that. But to answer your question, yeah, being nominated is the cool. I stay up all night. I'm dancing around the room when I hear I'm nominated because it's so exciting. There's only 5 songs picked, you know, a year. There's how many movies come out a year with songs in it? Hundreds, you know, hundreds of movies, hundreds of songs. You know, the Music Branch and the Academy are the best of the best. They're the best composers on the planet. They're the best songwriters on the planet. If they chose my song, that is a win. And I don't take any of that for granted. And I'm humbled by it and I'm honored by it. But would I like to win? Yeah. It'd be like, I don't want to be a 12-time loser. But, you know, I don't know. And the funny thing, the Match.com thing was really funny. That kind of went viral, you know, it's like so fun.
I think as a 5-time ASCAP Pop Songwriter of the Year, and as the only songwriters who have 7 hits on the charts by 7 different artists in the same year, I think you're a winner. So kind of throw that out there. I want to take you back to your childhood. What were the songs, who were the artists that you were listening to on the radio that helped formulate your own creative journey?
Like I grew up at a time where the kind of golden age of pop music really, because everything was on the radio when I grew up. But I was the biggest Beatle fan. like ever, you know, and I have older sisters that took me to Beatles concerts when I was like, you know, 6 or 7 years old. And I just ended up working with Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney. I mean, I had 2 Beatles singing on my song called Here's to the Nights. And that I'm still pinching myself over. I still can't believe it. I'm in the video. It's like Paul and Ringo are singing. I'm like, what just happened? So yeah. So, but to answer your question, I got to hear, you know, all kinds of music growing up. I was influenced by everything. That's why I could write songs in all genres.
I mean, so obviously you, like you said, you know, at 14 or 15, your dad bought you a guitar, was taking you around to publishers, and all you want to do is become successful. You want that to be your career path. Yeah. And I think in 1983, Laura Branigan recorded Solitaire, which was the first major hit you had.
But see, I don't think of that as my first major hit. I just wrote the lyrics to that. My first major hit really was Rhythm of the Night, you know, by DeBarge, which I wrote words and music. I've continued to do, you know, since then. So that was really my first where people go, you know, who's that? You know, and that, you know, didn't like a song a week ago, liked it after that was a hit, which happens a lot, you know.
Kind of reminds me a little bit, as you say that, of Stephen Sondheim. When he first started, they viewed him as a lyricist, but he really wanted to do music and lyrics.
Right.
So how did you have to navigate when somebody says, okay, I'll let you write lyrics, to say, no, now I want music and lyrics?
Well, I've always written words and music. I've always written music. You know, on that song, it was something Laura Branigan was doing that they needed an English lyric for. But I've always done words and music, you know, my whole life.
You mentioned before about Eduardo Ponti, but I want to talk about another cinematic man in your life, and that was Jerry Bruckheimer.
Yeah.
You had such a prolific relationship with him. Talk a little bit about, did he always come to you, or did you kind of have to constantly pitch him?
I'm trying to think, the first time I worked with him, I think, was on Kanal with How Do I Live? And that was a whole crazy story where there was 2 versions of the song, and because Leanne did it, and her dad didn't want to change the production, and Jerry brought in Trisha Yearwood, and, you know, and then they both put the songs out, and Jerry was mad at me and then said he was never going to work with me again if I didn't pull it from Leanne, but I couldn't. And then the next year he worked with me again on Aerosmith with Armageddon. And then, you know, Faith Hill with There You'll Be. You know, yeah, we had, you know, I've been nominated for a few songs with Jerry and a few big hits with him. And yeah, he's great. These are all different kind of movies, aren't they? Like Armageddon to The Life Ahead. So to Mannequin, you know, to documentaries about sexual assault with that song I wrote for Gaga.
Well, that's going to lead into, I'm going to impress the viewers right now with just a slight laundry list of some of the incredible talents you've worked with or written for. Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, as you mentioned, Lady Gaga, Beyonce, Barbra Streisand, Celine Dion, Elton John, Rod Stewart. But who haven't you written for that you would like to have them wrap their tongue around your lyrics and music?
I don't know, you know, I mean, there isn't one person that I'm dying to work with, but I love working with new artists all the time. And look, I just worked with 2 of the Beatles. So it's like, that was my dream. That was one of the dreams. I mean, it's that Paul McCartney singing my song on my song.
If there are people watching right now who would love to have a journey as a songwriter as well, without breaking it down too there, but what is your process? I mean, do you write on the piano, the guitar? How do you construct your day of writing songs?
Just show up. That's what I always say. I show up. Like as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to work on the song I'm writing right now. So it's as simple as that, really.
Are you one of these people? I remember years ago at an auction, they had on an airline boarding pass, the Bee Gees had written one of the lyrics for Saturday Night Fever, that it just came to him mid-flight. What happens to you when you're not home in your office and a song comes to you? I
mean, like an idea might come to me, so I'll leave it on my voicemail. I'll call myself. I do things like that. Write it anywhere. Write it on my hand. I don't know. Usually I have my phone there, so I could write down a title or something.
We've kept talking about all these other incredible artists who have recorded your music, but this year, during the quarantine, you actually released your own solo album.
I haven't released it.
How important?
I haven't released it. We haven't released it yet. It comes out later, you know, in this, like, I think in July, I think it comes out. Yeah, I'm like a DJ. So I'm working with a lot of artists like John Legend, to Ty Dolla $ign, to Celine, to Louis Fonsi. It's all over the place, you know, artist wise. But I think what holds it together is the songs are good. I hope. I mean, I think they are.
But is that an exciting leap forward for you to actually put out something with your own name, to have that album?
Yeah, it's a way to get these songs out there. You know, it's a way to have people hear a lot of stuff I'm doing. I just did a great song with Santana and G-Eazy. I love it. Such a hit. You know, so it was, you know, I just, yeah, it's just a fun way of, you know, doing this. Just always kind of finding new ways to get my songs out.
And just the last question for you, as the Oscars this year are going to be unique and different, nobody kind of knows what to expect. Part of it is going to be at Union Station, a train station in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, I hope we don't get
hit by Dolby. Do you know where you're going to be? How are you going to be able to view and hopefully get up there and accept your Oscar?
I just hope I don't get hit by a train. I'm just kidding. I have no idea how it's going to be, but we will be there live. You know, I love the fact that, you know, that, and they're being really safe about it, that it's not a Zoom Oscars. That would have sucked, you know, like you really realize with a lot of these shows, of course they had to be done that way, but you realize the importance of human beings, of an audience, because it's just, when there's no one there, it's dead air, it's dry. There's no vibe. So I applaud the producers of the Oscars for doing this. And it seems like they're doing it in a really creative and safe way, you know, and I'm excited. I can't wait. It's a week from Sunday. Maybe I'll win.
Well, Diane Warren, as always, thank you for letting me be seen with you.
Thank you, Scott.
Your Oscar nominations are coming out. Hopefully, the Oscar nominations are out. The 12th nomination, hopefully, for the show, you're going to be able to get your little Match.com gold statuette. Best of luck.
And my Golden Globe I got, yay. So.
This is Scott. Till next time.
Thanks, Scott.